Look, I know you love vampires with all of your heart, but I love us so much that I have to question things that don't make sense. Does that make sense? I know, but we can.
I'll cover you. Now get going.
Thanks.
The Zombies franchise just doesn't seem to stop growing. Since the very first movie premiered on Disney Channel back in 2018, it's become a massive hit, sparking 3 sequels, an animated TV show, and a ton of Halloween costumes inspired by its characters. Each new installment has expanded the universe a little further, introducing new supernatural elements and giving fans more reasons to fall in love with the characters. And now, with Zombies 4: Dawn of the Vampires, which premiered on July 10, the story is moving in an even more exciting direction. So let's dive into everything we know about it, shall we? Zombies 4 introduces 2 new characters, Nova, played by Freya Skye, and Victor, Malachi Barton, who have powers and charisma that echo the beloved Zed, Milo Manheim, and Addison, Meg Donnelly. Even though Zed and Addison have been the heart of the franchise, Nova and Victor are stepping into the spotlight, and their story is just beginning. The movie's ending even teases some new supernatural elements, specifically a giant waterspout emerging from the ocean, hinting that aquatic creatures, maybe even mermaids, could play a role in future stories. So naturally, fans are already wondering what's next for the franchise, and Milo Manheim and Meg Donnelly have shared their thoughts on the possibility of Zombies 5. One interesting thing about Zombies 4 is how it frames the conflict. The movie doesn't use the Daywalkers and vampires as stand-ins for real-world groups, unlike earlier entries in the franchise that tackled issues like school integration or immigration. Instead, the story focuses on 2 factions of equal size and power who have been raised to distrust one another. This makes it feel more like a classic Romeo and Juliet story where love can blossom even in the midst of a long-standing feud. Although the allegory is a little less pointed than in previous movies, it still fits perfectly with the franchise's core values about understanding, cooperation, and overcoming prejudice, so the moral lessons remain intact while giving the audience a fresh, entertaining story. When speaking with TV Insider, Milo Manheim kept things open-ended about a 5th installment. "We'll have to see," he said. "Honestly, a big part of it is how the people respond, so we hope that they love it." Donnelly added her perspective, focusing on the new characters. "I know that it's going to do well. Just from the new cast, I feel like their story is just started. Like, literally just started. The whole movie is the process of us passing the torch to them, so I feel like they deserve another one to just be in their own world and their story. I think they deserve another one." This passing of the torch is a big deal because it signals that the franchise is ready to evolve beyond the original leads. Over the years, Zombies has expanded the world far beyond just zombies, introducing werewolves and aliens into the mix. In the 4th movie, we see a clash between daywalkers and vampires, even though they've been raised to consider each other enemies. Despite that, Victor and Nova have an undeniable connection, and their relationship becomes the emotional center of the story, showing that the next generation can carry the franchise forward while still maintaining the themes of love, friendship, and unity. When asked directly if Victor and Nova could take the lead in future Zombies movies, Manheim didn't hesitate. "Absolutely," Donnelly agreed, adding, "I think they deserve their own movie where they're fully just the 2 leads, and it's about them because their story is so special and so cute." Of course, this raises questions about Zed and Addison, but even if they aren't front and center in the next installment, their guidance and legacy still shape the new generation. In a recent conversation with Deadline, Manheim and Donnelly elaborated further about the potential for Zombies 5. While they didn't commit to appearing themselves, they expressed excitement about the story continuing. Manheim pointed out that the Zombies universe can go any direction, emphasizing how much room there is to explore new characters and settings. "We're really just expanding and literally getting outside of Seabrook, so I'm curious to see what happens. I think the world could always use another Zombies movie," he explained. Donnelly added, "I feel like this movie, because the 4 of us are involved, it's very split between the 2. I think it's literally just the start of the kids' story, and I feel like there needs to be another one to tell their story." Manheim summed it up nicely by saying that while the first 3 movies felt like one complete trilogy, Zombies 4 is essentially the start of another trilogy, opening a whole new chapter for the franchise. The ending of Zombies 4 really reinforces this idea. By passing the torch to Victor and Nova, the story makes it it clear that the future of the franchise could focus on this new pair. There's even a musical moment in the song Possible where Addison sings, "It feels like forever since we were your age. We're passing you the torch, so don't hesitate," which is basically a direct message to fans that the story is moving forward. Additionally, the mysterious waterspout at the end hints at mermaids or other aquatic creatures, teasing the kind of exciting supernatural adventures that could appear in Zombies 5. Of course, whether the fifth movie happens depends on how well Dawn of the Vampires performs on Disney+. If it attracts viewers and generates revenue comparable to the previous movies, the chance of a sequel go way up. Even if Manheim and Donnelly don't return as on-screen characters, they could still participate as executive producers, helping to shape the story and ensure it feels consistent with the previous films. Their involvement in the promotional campaign could also help maintain continuity and excitement around the franchise. One challenge, though, is whether the franchise could truly thrive without Zed and Addison in front of the camera. The cast of Zombies 4 was already reduced, featuring only 4 legacy characters out of more than a dozen recurring figures from earlier installments. Victor and Nova are stepping into the lead roles, but they share a lot of similarities with Zed and Addison, and some fans might feel like the franchise loses a bit of its core identity without the originals. While other Disney Channel musicals like Descendants have successfully continued with new casts, the pattern for franchises like High School Musical or Teen Beach Movie is that they tend to conclude once the original leads depart. So even though the story is primed to continue, having Zed and Addison involved in some capacity could be the key to making Zombies 5 feel fully authentic. Story-wise, Zombies 4 continues the franchise's tradition of mixing fun, music, and life lessons. The conflict between daywalkers and vampires drives the plot, and Zed and Addison take on the role of mentors for Victor and Nova. The climax of the movie shows the young characters learning to cooperate rather than escalate the feud, combining 2 powerful stones, the Light Stone and Dark Stone, which form a single moonstone, to restore balance and revive the orchard. This resolution emphasizes teamwork, reconciliation, and using wisdom from the past to solve problems in the present. The moonstones themselves are a fun way to tie the supernatural elements together because they've been part of the franchise since earlier films, linking werewolves and other creatures to the story. By showing the younger characters stepping up while learning from their mentors, the movie sets a strong foundation for potential sequels. Victor and Nova are already positioned as capable leads, ready to carry the story, while Zed and Addison remain central as guiding figures and sources of continuity. The ending also hints at larger possibilities for the franchise. By introducing aquatic monsters, probably mermaids, the story opens up a whole new environment and potential conflicts for Zombies 5. Victor and Nova's romance is just beginning, meaning their relationship can continue to develop and serve as a central emotional anchor. This setup not only allows for exciting new adventures, but also keeps the core themes of love, acceptance, and cooperation at the heart of the franchise. Even beyond the story and characters, Zombies 4 reinforces the overarching message of the series, overcoming prejudice and learning to work together. Earlier movies used supernatural creatures as metaphors for real-world social issues like integration, colonization, and immigration. This time, the conflict between daywalkers and vampires is more symmetrical, which makes it feel like a classic tale of young love against the backdrop of long-standing rivalry. Although the allegory is less pointed, it fits seamlessly with the franchise's overall ethos and gives Victor and Nova a meaningful narrative to carry forward. So while nothing is officially confirmed, the potential for Zombies 5 is strong. The narrative groundwork is already laid with Victor and Nova ready to take the lead, the hints at mermaids and aquatic adventures, and the ongoing mentorship from Zed and Addison ensuring continuity. Manheim and Donnelly's enthusiasm, even if more behind the scenes, shows that the creators of the franchise are invested in seeing it continue. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.